Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Um, I'm pretty excited about a book that I just started reading after I finished my book club book, and I wanted to sort of throw it out there for you. Some of the ideas that just showed up in the very, very beginning of it that just screamed, oh, you should share this. So here I am. Okay. So the book is written, it's written by Wayne Dyer, but it isn't written by Wayne Dyer. It's called The Power of Awakening. And what do I mean by that? The book came out in 2020 and Wayne Dyer was already deceased. They took his information off of some of the tapes that he did, some of the presentations that he did, and they made it into a book. And the people that have lovingly worked with him, which is Hay House, always does this, especially when someone has passed. If ideas were so good, they were too good not to be shared. So Wayne shared these ideas while he was alive. They took them and they put them into this book. So the first part of the book is actually a foreword by a guy named Brendan Burchard, who is another writer. And he says here that this is mindfulness practices and spiritual tools to transform your life. Well, I've only started the book and I'm already all excited about it. And I think the reason I am is because sometimes we don't really know where we are on our spiritual path because there are no hard and fast rules, and that's okay. But, sometimes it would just be nice to know whether or not we were, in fact, in a stage of awakening where we had feelings of a change that comes in our lives and why it does and how that impacts us. So I thought I'd share some of the ideas here this morning and with you all, because you're all just as interested in these things as I am. So first of all, they compiled this book in 2020, and they compiled it in response to what was going on with the pandemic. They said to themselves, the editors did, they said to themselves, oh my God, we need to bring this some information to people to help them to cope with what's going on. And they said, they listened to all of the archives of Wayne talking and so on. And if you don't know who Wayne Dyer is, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he was probably one of the most influential spiritual writers of his time, who passed at about 80 years of age. He's written tons of books and done tons of, he's also sometimes on PBS specials. And so if you don't know who he is, it's D-Y-E-R, Wayne Dyer. And again, lots and lots of books and lots of other things that he did when he was alive. So they pulled out this information because they wanted to bring calming to people that were going through all this stress. And I still think we can find this very useful for ourselves, given the climate we're still living in, even though it's 3 years post COVID, so to speak. We're still dealing with all of the ramifications and all of the strange things that happened from the past administration and the choices that were made, the things that were neglected. And we're just seeing a lot of things start to topple, including the banks. So I think it's really important to share, and I think it's really helpful. So Burchard says that there is a higher place that each of us can reach while we're here on Earth. He said he learned that from Wayne Dyer when he went on tour with Wayne. And we all know that. We know we can reach a higher place, even though we're here on Earth, because we do it every day. We have psychics and we have mediums and we have people that talk about spiritual things. And it brings our vibration up. It lifts us up and makes us see, that we can access other worlds while we're sitting here. We were told just to live according to our higher selves, and, quote, it just happens. It happens that our attitude changes and that our intentions matter and faith matters. He says to serve others, and you're serving your purpose. So those of you still confused by what your purpose is, begin by serving others. Begin by serving others. You don't have to be a waitress. But what you need to do is to know that your purpose here is to serve other people, to love other people, and to be love for other people. And it's very limited in scope. You don't have to save the world. You can just save a little part of it, okay? Find your stillness within. Look for the miracles that are around you all the time, and surrender to it, which will bring you strength, and act in accordance with love, with the divine. Wayne said, when you trust and set intentions and seek goals with flow and faith, all of a sudden you start seeing miracles happening, and it's absolutely astounding to you. How many times have we seen somebody say, well, I've been practicing gratitude and then this happened? And it was that real? Did that really happen? And yes, it did. Why? Because you were grateful, because you let go of the outcome. You didn't see something for anything more than just doing it out of love. That's what you did it for. There is a higher place we can reach here on earth, and it's so darn important to remember that all the time. Trust in how things will unfold. Do not keep asking the question. You're stopping the flow. You say, well, wait a minute. I don't know if I trust that answer. Can I ask it again? Oh, okay. Let me ask another question. You're not letting it unfold. You're not letting it come as it's supposed to come. You're not letting it find its way to you, because that's what you are seeking is also seeking you. But if you've got roadblocks up, or you don't trust the process, then you're not going to see that very thing. It's very important to remember. COVID lockdown was a call to awaken to a new vision as one's whole identity changes, and activities and events that formerly carried meaning for you are no longer important to you. Maybe you had a thing that you did prior to that. Maybe you worried about a lot of things. Maybe you had to go to this thing. Maybe you had to, make sure that you went and did this event, or you had to be with this person, or you had to do that. The key is you had to do it, but you didn't have to do it. You chose to do it, but now you're making different choices. Some of this is boundaries, and some of it isn't boundaries. It's simply the way that you're allowing it to unfold. You're saying to yourself, oh, okay, I can allow this to happen, and it will happen because you're allowing it, letting it go, sitting on the boat, on the river. You're not the boat. You're in the boat. The boat follows the flow of the river. You're not the boat. Can we learn to witness our lives rather than to identify with it? Can we witness it without identifying it? Very important. Can we witness our lives? Can we just simply be the witness to it? We can look above it. It's kind of like I tell my students when they're writing in my class, they're not supposed to say, I think. I said, you are the observer. Take the I out. Take the think out. And then what is it? Say what it is. Be the third person observer. You do not have to identify it. It doesn't have to be identified. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. That is where bliss resides, higher awareness lives, and the place of authentic freedom comes when you don't have to identify with something. Something happens in the neighborhood, and you're looking out the window, Gladys Kravitz. Abner, look. Close the drapes. You don't have to identify with it. You don't have to. You can move beyond that. Everyone is connected and necessary to all of us, even the ones we don't like very much. The concept of and I want to give you what the concept of awakening is in different ways. Once you're ready to awaken, and you all have awakened in this for them. I'm sure of it. But maybe not completely, because there is a process. And it's not written in stone. Not everybody has to follow the process the way that Wayne lays it out, but it's pretty cool. He says the first thing that you notice when you're awakening is that you perceive things differently. You see the foibles of human beings, the things that are wrong with them, or oh, they always do that. What's wrong with them? They're always complaining. They're always sick. They're always, and instead of making a judgment about it, or having restrictive attitudes and mindsets, we simply don't judge it. We're not attached to it. It's not our problem. We're sorry that it happened. I wish you well, and move on. We must accept this is where they are right now. Religion, politics. We're seeing this daily, honestly. Everybody has rules that they're supposed to follow. Those rules don't apply to us unless we want them to apply to us. And we don't have to, we can just say, okay, they're just not on the path yet. They're not awakened. And I find it very interesting because we're hearing it over and over and over again. Oh, all that woke thing, that woke thing, that woke thing. Yeah, we are awake. We're awakened. We have awakened. You haven't awakened because you're saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's fabulous. So yeah, I'm woke. Okay. I'm real happy about it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Number 2, you develop compassion for all life in all forms. You see the divinity in everything, even your enemies. You see them in rocks. You see them in crystals. You see them in trees. You see them in deer. You see them in rhinoceroses, alligators, whatever it is. Everything is divine and everything has a reason to be here. And you see that as part of the whole. You're able to see that. And you're not having a problem with seeing that. Your personal ethics also change. Wayne Dyer said he gave up his need to always be right. And there are people that feel like they always have to be right. Oh, they're going to argue with you. Oh, no, they're not going to give you the last word. They're the ones that know. The third one is decreased attachment to people. And boy, I really nailed this one. Being at home, I'm not around many people. Being here, I like it very much because I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people. You're my people. And I'm your people. And I don't know any more than you do. I'm just sharing what I know. And you're sharing what you know. And that's really cool. It says you also definitely want to get rid of anybody that you feel is trying to control you. And we've seen it. Family. This family, there's this MAGA thing going on. They want to control you. They want you to come over to their side. They want you to like what they like. They want to control who you are and what you do. And we don't need that. We've never needed it. When we were children, maybe we needed a little bit of it, but we also needed to reach out from our immaturity and grow in our own ideas, our own thoughts, our own values. Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, says all of that. And he said it in 1784. Saper aud. Have the courage to think for yourself. People still aren't doing it. So have the courage to think for yourself. It's not a problem. Especially when you get older, we find, oh, well, they don't like me, tough. That's their loss. I don't have, that's the way it is. Number 4, seeing yourself without labels. Oh, my God. I go into the classroom. When I go into the classroom, I said to my students, who are probably the youngest being 15, 16 years old each term, and I say, hi, I'm Allie, and I'm not Mrs. Martin. I'm not Professor Martin. I'm not attached to any of that. Just call me Allie. That's my name. That's my name. And I don't have any labels. Most of the time, if people ask me where I'm from, I'll tell them, of course, in general vicinity, but really I'm from the planet. I'm an earthling and a global citizen because I love the world. I love everybody in it. And I want to spread that. I'm not. So cut the labels. American, mother, wife, grandmother, um, postmaster, whatever, professor. Yeah, okay, I'm a professor, big deal. I'm just a person. I'm just a person who happens to be a professor. And that's it. I'm not impressed with it. It's okay. You don't have to be impressed with it either. I put my clothes on the same way as everybody else. My husband's a doctor. Oh, well, he's a doctor. He went to school to be one. He goes by Keith. That's who he is. That's who we are. So yes, I've always done this. I started it a lot of years ago. We don't have to define who we are. Why? A lot of reasons. We change over time. We may feel, some people will say, well, that's the way I am. I can't think about new ideas, or I can't go there, or I just don't feel right about that. Or you don't have to be defining everything all the time. You just don't. You just don't have to do that. I wish we could learn this stuff when we're younger. I wish parents would teach their children. I really do. The next one. You also don't see problems, obstacles, or difficulties in the same way. And this happened to me last year about my roof. You know it. It was amazing. And it was all I could do to let that go and flow. And it did. And I appreciated all of everything that ever happened around it. But it was an obstacle that had to be met. It wasn't a problem. It was just a hurdle. And I was able to get over the hurdle. They're simply energy shifts. And once we can accept that this problem that society calls a problem, or this obstacle we're going through, is an energy shift, the easier it will be for us to see. Because if we could shift into that energy, we can shift out of that energy. It may take a while. We may not be able to do it right away. But once you can start seeing something as a gift, as a lesson to learn, it's so much easier to let things flow. It's not easy to do that, however. I understand that. It's just something to aspire to. Number 6, you notice things in an instant. I love that. You notice things in an instant, or that which was cloudy or mysterious is suddenly, it's the aha moment. It's the aha moment. Or it could be the oh crap moment. It could be one of those, but it's instant. Instantly you recognize it. It's the same reading or understanding that information that was hard to access is easy. All of a sudden, you looked at a book 10 years ago and you said, oh my God, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's too hard. I don't get it. You go back to that book after a certain period of time and you look at it, you go, oh, this is great. Why? You were ready for it. You were ready to meet that information. You weren't ready earlier. You're also, by doing that, you've released your rigidity. You're not as rigid as you were about it to the new idea or the concept that's coming through. It's releasing also your cognitive dissonance, the idea that this might tell me something different from what I already believe. And am I ready for it yet? Am I ready for it yet? And if you're in an awakening situation, you are more ready than you ever would be normally. You also notice that things that are separated from you, that are separated you from other people more. I'm sorry. You used to look at things as being separate from other people. They're these people. It's like the us versus them. Oh, it's those people. What do your people do? That kind of thing. Now you recognize, oh, we're actually more alike than we thought we were. Oh, you like to travel? Oh, I like to travel. Really? I know that about you. You notice more now. More things are less and less significant to you as well. You don't need approval of anyone. No one. And we're hardest on ourselves. We don't need to disapprove of ourselves. We just need to forgive ourselves. Relationships also may change. Some will grow deeper. Some will grow stronger. Some will be vitally important to you, and others will probably turn and move away. A smaller circle is sometimes preferred by people who are awakened because privacy to them matters. They don't want to share things with everybody. And I've heard many times that people are on here and their family doesn't know anything about the fact that they're here or that they're a metaphysical person or anything. For me, I don't care. They can all find out. I have nothing to hide. Some people, it's not so easy, and that's understandable. We're all different, so I'm not judging anybody for what they do. You now have access to the divine and the grandness that you are. And by being open, you allow that to come into you, all the grandness, all the divinity. You're letting in new ideas, which are positive forces in the universe. And you're part of that positive force. You can make things happen. You can be a part of the connection of that to humanity. You live in a perfect universe with synchronicity and no coincidences. All things happen in divine order when we're ready to learn them. Forgiveness is a way of life to you when you're fully awakened. And you don't tell others they must be like you. Instead, you love them where they are. Even if they're doing harm, you work to balance the earth. I've got a situation where there's a loved one who's dealing with a health issue that was created by that person. And everything that we said fell on deaf ears, and now that person is facing a life-threatening issue. And I can't do anything about it. I did what I could, but he has to live his life the way that he chooses to live it. Number 9, you appreciate everything you have right here, right now. You refuse to spend time looking at what's missing. There's nothing missing. Everything you're supposed to have is here. You only know that there is love. When you give it away, everything you ever wanted comes back to you without expectation. You're not giving away because you expect to get something back. You're giving away because it feels good, because you love doing it, because it's something that you feel connected to do. That's where the love is. That's where serving humanity, serving others comes in. You know you are it all. You are harmony, peace, love, and you're awake. You're woke. So just another short thing that I wanted to mention. I was looking through Instagram and somebody had posted about the Pluto influence. And I'm not an astrologer, but I just find it so fascinating and so true, whatever it is that it tends to bring up. And one of the things that it brought up was that the uncovering of spiritual teachers who are not spiritual teachers is going to happen with this Pluto and Saturn issue. And people that are doing it for the wrong reasons are going to be uncovered. And people that are doing it for the right reasons will continue to do what they're doing and, share what their knowledge is and share their love with other people. And so, just know that if you've got the right intention is everything. If you've got the right intention, you're working on the path and you let it go and let it come, let it unfold, as Wayne says. Lots of good comes to you. Wow. I had to share that with you guys. I just had to share it. I thought it was so fabulous. I'm still reading the book, but it is a wonderful book to read. This also is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but this is the book again, Wayne Dyer's The Power of Awakening. I don't know. I feel pretty awake today. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.